The thrill of that first spark of inspiration. As an entrepreneur, I can just feel the excitement and possibility bubbling up. That initial vision, that dream that feels so close yet so far, it's simultaneously exhilarating and daunting, isn't it? I remember that feeling well. You're right, though. That journey from that initial idea to bringing it to life is no easy feat. It takes grit, determination, and the ability to navigate a whole host of unseen forces. But when you find the right people, the right support system, that's when the magic can really happen. Those partnerships, those connections, they're so crucial in turning that glimmer of a dream into an awesome reality. In this video, we're going to dive into that dynamic world where founders and investors come together to build something truly extraordinary. We'll see how these relationships work, what makes them succeed, and the challenges they face along the way. By the end, I hope you'll have a clearer picture of how those game-changing ideas take shape, and how you can apply those insights to your own ambitions. Whether you're ready to take the leap or just curious about the process, let's do this together, shall we? 1. The entrepreneurial DNA. The entrepreneurial spirit, it's a force to be reckoned with, isn't it? These innovators, these visionaries, they're not your average dreamers. No, they're driven by a profound purpose, a relentless desire to reshape the world around them. Let's consider Christoph Westphal, for example. When he discovered research hinting at compounds that could slow the aging process, he didn't hesitate. He took a massive pay cut, throwing caution to the wind to found Certeris Pharmaceuticals and chase this revolutionary vision. And his team. They were so committed, they even tested the experimental formulas on themselves, arriving at investor meetings with injection marks still visible on their arms. That's dedication, the kind that comes from a place of unwavering belief and personal investment in the mission. But it's not just blind optimism that propels these entrepreneurs. No, they blend that visionary spirit with a healthy dose of paranoia, always assuming the worst-case scenario. As Intel's Andrew Grove famously said, "Only the paranoid survive." It's that anxiety, that constant awareness of potential pitfalls, that spurs them to foresee problems and reduce risks, making them that much more resilient. And then there's Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn. For him, entrepreneurship wasn't about personal wealth. It was about maximizing his impact on the world. He recognized that the traditional model of a 40-year career at a single company was crumbling, so he set out to build a platform that would help individuals manage their careers as small businesses. Even when investors initially dismissed his vision as too niche, Hoffman persisted, driven by a desire to transform the way we work and live. These are the traits that set the true entrepreneurs apart. The unshakable belief, the personal investment, the visionary outlook tempered by a healthy dose of pragmatism. It's a unique blend of qualities that allows them to overcome the countless challenges and pivotal moments that shape both their companies and themselves. Understanding this entrepreneurial DNA is the key to unlocking the secrets of those who create billion-dollar empires, separating the true innovators from the mere dreamers. 2. Venture capital fundamentals. The world of venture capital, it's a fascinating and often intimidating realm, isn't it? As an entrepreneur, navigating this exclusive community can feel like trying to crack the code of a secret society. But understanding the fundamentals of how VCs operate is truly crucial if you want to bring your vision to life. Let's start with the key players in this game-changing arena. Did you know that there are only around 1,000 individuals who essentially drive the major investment decisions in the VC world? These power brokers, primarily based in the hubs of Silicon Valley, Boston, and New York, have an outsized impact on the global economy. I mean, the startups they choose to back make up an incredible 1/5 of the entire US GDP. Talk about influence. And these VC investors? They come in all shapes and sizes. You've got the globetrotters like Tim Draper who have a boundless curiosity for finding entrepreneurs everywhere, from Vietnam to Russia. Then there are the specialists, like David Hornick, who laser focus on software deals in Silicon Valley, bringing a deep technical expertise to the table. And let's not forget the early-stage wizards, like Howard Morgan, whose intellectual firepower helps them identify the rare grand slams amid the startups that may ultimately flop. But the differences don't stop there. VCs also vary widely in their fund structures. Some deploy billions, writing checks as big as 8 figures, while others operate leaner, nimbler funds that enable smaller bets on high-potential but less proven concepts. This fund size is a key factor in determining which startups a VC will even consider. And of course, the money itself is a driving force. VCs typically charge hefty management fees, but the real payoff comes from the carried interest, that 20 to 25% cut of the profits. This model creates an inherent tension, as VCs need to generate 5 to 10x returns to achieve acceptable results, sometimes clashing with founders who may be content with more modest outcomes. It's a rarefied world, to be sure. VCs are simultaneously an entrepreneur's greatest champion and toughest gatekeeper. Funding may be 1 in every 300 pitches they hear. Cracking the code of this exclusive community is vital if you want to land the funding that can transform your vision into reality. So, keep learning, keep networking, and never forget that the VC mindset is a unique blend of creativity, curiosity, and hard-nosed business sense. 3. Mastering the pitch. The art of the pitch. It's the make-or-break moment that separates the dreamers from the doers, isn't it? As an entrepreneur, you may have the most brilliant idea in the world, but if you can't effectively communicate it and capture the attention of those deep-pocketed venture capitalists, your vision may never see the light of day. You're absolutely right that a brilliant idea alone isn't enough. It's all about how you present that idea. The pitch is where the magic happens. And it's not just about the content, but the entire strategic approach leading up to that pivotal meeting. Let's start with getting that crucial access to the right people. As you mentioned, cold emails to VCs are essentially a waste of time. The odds of getting funded through an unsolicited approach are practically minuscule. No, the real key is tapping into the VC's network, finding those trusted connections that can open doors. Just look at what Michael Bronner and Jeff Bussgang did when they wanted to pitch their college savings startup, Upramis, to the legendary John Doerr. They navigated through a Harvard Business School professor, a Silicon Valley CEO, and a Fortune 500 executive to get that all-important introduction. And even the busy Doerr saw the value in meeting with them after hearing about them from those credible sources. But the pitch itself is where the real drama unfolds, isn't it? Those first few minutes are absolutely critical. VCs will form their initial judgments in a flash, based on how you present yourself and your idea. And the savviest founders know to check in at the 15-minute mark, gauging interest before plowing ahead. It shows emotional intelligence and respect for everyone's time. And the content. Well, that's where you need to really shine. As Gail Goodman of Constant Contact discovered, it's all about demonstrating that unfair advantage, convincing the VCs that your specific team is uniquely qualified to execute this vision. Downplaying the risks won't work either. Candor and transparency, like what Christoph Westphal did with Certrus, can actually build trust rather than undermine confidence. But perhaps the most compelling approach is showing progress over time. The movie Not the Snapshot, as Eric Paley did with his dental imaging startup Brontes. Methodically meeting with investors, demonstrating milestone achievements at each stage, can ultimately convince them of your ability to execute and, in Paley's case, lead to a $95 million acquisition. It's a delicate dance, this whole pitch process. But the best founders approach it not as supplicants, but as selective business owners, seeking the ideal collaborator to help bring their transformative vision to life. It's about securing the capital, yes, but also finding the right partner for the entrepreneurial journey ahead. And with the right preparation, storytelling, and strategic relationship building, you just might be the one to pull it off. 4. How to negotiate the right partnership. The delicate dance of securing the right VC partnership. It's a pivotal moment that can truly make or break an entrepreneur's journey, isn't it? Just when you thought the hard part was over, after months of pitching and seeking that all-important funding, the real work begins. You're absolutely right that the moment a VC expresses interest, it's time for careful evaluation. As one VC so bluntly put it, if he had the choice between banging his head against a cinderblock wall for a year or taking money from a notoriously difficult partner, he'd choose the wall. And Jack Dorsey's words ring equally true. You're essentially hiring a boss you can't fire when you select a VC partner. So what separates the right partner from the wrong one? Well, chemistry and connection matter more than anything else. Just look at how Dorsey chose Fred Wilson of Union Square Ventures. Wilson was aggressive, in your face even, but he was also a passionate, day-to-day user of the service. That genuine connection and shared enthusiasm for the product created a foundation of trust that would carry them through the difficult decisions ahead. But it's not just about chemistry. You've also got to evaluate the tangible value a VC brings to the table. The best ones serve as strategic counselors, providing that invaluable pattern recognition from having seen similar situations play out across countless companies. As Wilson himself said, "The beauty of being a VC is they've seen all these issues many times. They can interpret the challenges you're facing and guide you towards the right solutions." And let's not forget the power of those VC connections when it comes to recruiting top talent. Many of the critical executive hires at successful startups come through the venture capitalists' network. Board members who actively open those doors and help fill those crucial roles can accelerate your company's growth in ways you never thought possible. But of course, the negotiation process is where the real drama unfolds. It's not just about the price. The term sheet outlines all sorts of control provisions that determine who calls the shots as your company evolves. Pre-money valuation may grab the headlines, but things like liquidation preferences, board composition, and protective provisions requiring investor approval for major decisions are equally, if not more, important. It's a delicate balance, finding the right VC partner. You want someone who's not just willing to write a check, but who can truly add value, provide strategic guidance, and help you navigate the treacherous waters ahead. And with the right chemistry, the right connections, and the right negotiated terms, that VC founder partnership can become the catalyst that transforms your entrepreneurial dreams into a thriving reality. 5. Building through inevitable drama. The roller coaster of startup life. It's never a smooth, linear journey, is it? No, it's more like a soap opera, filled with plot twists, emotional highs and lows, and relationships that evolve in unexpected ways. But understanding these inevitable dynamics can be the key to navigating the challenges that emerge as your vision confronts reality. Let's break it down, shall we? The startup journey typically follows a predictable, yet challenging path, with 3 distinct phases. First, you find yourself in the jungle, a chaotic environment where there's no clear path, and you're constantly hacking through the foliage, changing direction as you encounter obstacles. In this phase, it's not about revenue, it's about buzz, how much positive word of mouth you can generate. As one seasoned executive put it, your PR ratio matters more than your PE ratio. Eventually, you reach the dirt road. You're shipping product, generating revenue, and have established strategic direction. The path forward has its bumps and turns, but it's a recognizable route with fewer surprises. Now the focus shifts to revenue growth, though the trajectory is more important than the absolute numbers. And then, if you're lucky, you arrive at the highway, moving at high speed, with less maneuverability, where profitability becomes the central focus. But these transitions, they create natural tension points between founders, executives, and board members. The skills that make someone brilliant at navigating the jungle may not be the same ones needed to build systems for highway travel. And as the company evolves, some team members may struggle to adapt, leading to difficult conversations about roles and responsibilities. One of the most common startup dramas, though, is when the board gradually loses faith in the founding CEO. What starts as universal admiration for the visionary founder can slowly erode with missed deadlines, unmet projections, or strategic missteps. Trust deteriorates further when the CEO feels under attack and responds defensively rather than transparently. The board members start questioning the information they're given, interrogating the team directly, and attempting to exert greater control. And all too often, this downward spiral ends with the CEO's removal, a damaging blow to both the company and the relationships. It's a wild ride, this startup life. But by understanding the inevitable ups and downs, the shifting priorities and evolving dynamics, you can better prepare yourself and your team to weather the storm. Because, let's be real, there's no such thing as a smooth, linear trajectory. It's all about navigating the drama, embracing the plot twists, and emerging stronger on the other side. 6. Exit strategies and global impacts. The ultimate decision that every entrepreneur must face, the exit. It's the moment when all those years of navigating the jungle, traversing the dirt road, and accelerating down the highway culminate in a life-changing transaction. But as you astutely pointed out, this critical juncture is fraught with emotional complexity and strategic considerations that extend far beyond simple economics. For venture capitalists, exits are routine transactions. a way to return capital to their limited partners, ideally at multiples that justify their investment strategy. But for the founders, selling their beloved company feels more like parting with a child they've raised from infancy. As one entrepreneur put it, the chicken may be interested, but the pig is committed. Despite the emotional significance, timing the exit correctly requires balancing objective factors with personal considerations. Successful entrepreneurs typically weigh a range of key questions. Do they still love running the business? Or are they feeling exhausted? Do they still believe passionately in the company's potential? How does the current offer compare to what might be available in the future? Will the business require additional capital, and at what terms? And perhaps most importantly, what do their team, investors, and family advise? Fred Wilson of Union Square Ventures shared a poignant example of a startup that received a $100 million acquisition offer, which would have made the founders tens of millions personally. But as Wilson could see in their eyes, their wives were saying, "Take the money." And he totally respected that, because when you get into your 30s and 40s, with kids, mortgages, and lives to consider, it can be harder to just throw caution to the wind and go for it. The journey to a successful exit often begins years in advance, as demonstrated by Eric Paley's sale of his dental imaging company, Brontes, to 3M for $95 million. Paley spent 2 years carefully educating potential acquirers about his technology's progress, creating a compelling narrative of consistent achievement, the movie, not the snapshot, that VCs so value. And when a competitor made an initial offer of $55 million, Paley leveraged his relationships with other industry players to create an auction environment, ultimately driving the price up by over 70%. It's a delicate balance, this whole exit strategy. Emotions run high, personal circumstances weigh heavily, and strategic considerations demand meticulous planning. But for those who navigate this final chapter of the entrepreneurial journey with skill and foresight, the rewards can be life-changing, not just for the founders themselves, but for the wider world they've helped to transform. Final summary. This book, Mastering the VC Game, is truly a playbook for founders seeking to navigate the complex and often daunting world of venture capital fundraising. It distills the vital lessons that every entrepreneur must grasp to succeed in this high-stakes arena. The key takeaways are crystal clear. VCs aren't just a source of capital, they are critical partners in your journey. Choosing the right VC, one who truly aligns with your vision and values, is pivotal. The pitch is an art form in itself. Crafting a clear, confident, and captivating story can make all the difference in securing that coveted funding. Negotiating the terms of the partnership is just as important as getting the VC's interest. Protecting your vision and ensuring a founder-friendly deal is essential. Drama and challenges are inevitable in the startup world, but resilience is what separates the true innovators from the rest. Understanding the natural ebbs and flows of the entrepreneurial journey is crucial. Planning your exit strategy, even from the earliest stages, can transform theoretical valuations into life-changing wealth and legacy. Mastering this final chapter is the ultimate mark of a successful founder. In the end, the best entrepreneurs don't just build companies, they build legacies. And this book provides the roadmap to do just that, empowering founders to navigate the treacherous yet rewarding terrain of venture capital with skill, confidence, and vision. So, what's next? Should we dive into the timeless wisdom of the hard thing about hard things? Or unpack the paradigm-shifting insights of 0 to 1? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more startup wisdom to come.